Dre, this is video 2 of Let There Be Light. And I do declare myself light. That the light that I'm talking about is the very same light that we all have. Just that I have awakened to mine and I'm applying myself as such. That light within you is called life. So once you know what your light is, then you will know what the dark is. The dark is that which is opposite or in opposition to life in any way. So all of such ways that are adverse to life, they are the ways of the dark. That's not going to be that easy, or there's no quick way to actually transition from the material reality to life's way of doing things because it is it's a complete opposition. It's totally different because when you are functioning as a material being, your ways are the ways of the dark, and all ways of the dark are not really vicious and evil because whatever you can do as a material being, you are life, which is that intelligence and natural power limited to the material way of doing things. So you can be a righteous person, and that is still within the dark state. It's just one of the most highest levels in the dark because when you are being a righteous human being or a decent human being, you are life. You are using life the best that you can to be the best human being that you can be, as opposed to your life awakened and functioning as itself. See your life as a light. And when it is limited to the material way, your equation is material over life. So that limits your life, which is the greater you, to the material way. And life being the greater you can figure that out when you begin to realize, the more you begin to realize, rather, that your material self totally depend upon the life self. You totally depend upon life. Every action, every breath, every measure, it takes life to be there. So you are a total dependent upon that part of you that is actually carrying your entire burden. So as you go through the generations, you're weighing that part of you down more and more, and you're limiting your life more and more to the material way of seeing and doing things. That is why you have arrived at that place wherein you are destroying life over material things, things that humans make, things that you make as humans. You are destroying what comes from the highest level over things that you make. So when material things are above life, and when you dictate what your life does, that means you are a material force over your life self, which is a sacrifice to you because you totally depend upon it, yet you are the acting power. And it has to be that way until you learn to use that intelligence to mature more and more to become the way of that part of you that is intelligent, which at higher level is wisdom. All of this is not that easy to grasp right now. So knowing what your light is and knowing how to turn it on would be the next step. Now to turn it on is to apply yourself as that part of you that is light. Your light is on when you do such. It's a lot of work to even get to that point where your life is awakened. It takes a lot of conscious effort to awaken. You're just like a creature in a state of comatose. You are not life conscious. You are not conscious of the things that you are doing that is destructive to your own life and the many lives around you. You are all one. However, when you are the way of the night sky, a myriad of lights in multiplicity that cannot blot out the dark, then it is difficult to put yourself together because each of you have your own way of interpreting things. You have your own opinions. You have your own way of seeing things, and you are life dispersed into all of those differences because the way of the dark are many, and the light is that which reveals, manifests, render transpiration of. So when a light enters the dark, being it is that which renders truth, then it dispersed into every state within the dark so that the entirety of the dark can reveal as it play out and be known. That's why the way of the light and the dark are the ways of many, because light reveals. Life renders visibility. Life renders clarity. Life clears away the dark. Life comes into one brightness. See? So you are lights in the dark as a night sky, but how can you transition from night to day, from a place where you are a myriad of limited lights to where you become one whole light? So you have to realize that only light can oppose itself. So life is your light. And in the dark, it becomes the ways of death. So you are the many reasons why you are life destroying life, because in the dark you are in state of you're in the positive and the negative state. Because above you is the realm of light, and beneath you are the dark. That's where the darkest level is. So both places impact you. So you are in between the brightest place and the darkest level. So both impact you. So it's a fluctuating back and forth because you are the positive and the negative zone because you're between those two poles, the heavens and the hell state. The way out is to become whole. See, now you're not going to become whole until your physical and your life self become one. Your life self is where your journey begins because that's the part of you that is false. The part of you that is real is the part that comes directly out of what you title God, because what you title God is that spirit that is real in this universe. But when one would say all wise and almighty, because your light is not on, you're not awake. You don't quite know how to interpret that. Because when it comes to what you title God, as you come along much later and say, I will call what's at that highest level God, you still don't know what you're giving that title to because you don't understand the interpretation of all wise and almighty. That is the brightness of knowing. And when the brightness of knowing is fully bright, it knows everything, which is where the life light being fully bright, whole pure light, exactly what it breathed into that structure that it made from the earth that it called man. The material was pure at that time because the earth was at its purest when that structure was formed. That is why the pure light could breathe itself directly into it. So what's at that highest level? It breathed into that pure upright structure that it formed from the earth because it knew that its pure brightness, the pure brightness of itself, which is what it breathed into that pure structure of earth, it knew that it would function as one. It was structured upright because it was designed to be a pure upright being. So without that which know, the things that were not there that were created are the things that don't know. So you have life, the place where all things are known and all things are done, the whole light, the whole natural power, and the whole brightness of knowing. That the brightness of knowing don't need bodies to represent itself. As you keep trying to give some kind of form to that which know everything, that which know everything is simply that. It's just the spirit that knows everything. That's why it filters through everything that knows. Because everything that know, it know because the light life is in it. So all the things that naturally know how to function is because the light that know is in it, life. Because where life is not, the power of knowing don't exist. So your light is life. You don't know that part of yourself. Your material self has to surrender to that. A lot of work goes into that, knowing the part of yourself that is called life. That's why this is not going to be that easy to grasp because it requires much conscious effort, conscious of where the red flags pop up, being conscious of what you are doing that's harmful to your own life. Things that you eat, things that you drink. It's not sane for you to be destructive to your own self. Your true self is that life self. That is that part of you that feels. That's the what you feel the hurts and the pains. That's the part of you that learn and know how to achieve things. What you don't know, you learn to know, which means your light has increased in its brightness because now that which was not quite clear to you or what was vague becomes clear. So your light has brightened in that regard. So it's a difference in reference to your light shining within the material reality as opposed to shining beyond that material state that you have limited your life to. It's like the God seed in the earth. Your material self is your earth. Your life self is the God self. And your earth self is not going to grow that. Your earth self can achieve all that can be achieved limited within the materiality with that life power inside of you. But if you want to grow the way of your light, your lesser self, which is the physical or material self, the earth self has to surrender to that life spirit within you that's greater than you because you totally depend upon that life self. So there is a lot to learn, and the works of life's consciousness must effectuate more and more to bring that clarity through because you are like creatures in a state of comatose. You are not life conscious. You are material conscious because your life is limited to the material way. This will wind up video number 2 of Let There Be Light. And I will immediately begin video 3 of Let There Be Light, Peace and Strength. I don't understand this. I ain't getting no understanding out of this.